Here at PGA show, and we're with Star Grips. This has been a grip. There's grip companies are all over the place today, and I'm here with Anders, not recently new owner, but a new owner.
Yep.
New owner of Star Grips, and again, what we're starting to see, what I'm seeing is, instead of quantity, we're talking about quality.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm certainly
I like
okay.
quantity as well.
Yeah, oh sure, right? And so Star Grip, well, let us know, what does Anders think Star Grip is all about?
Well, Star Grip is about the quality. I mean, that's my main concern with the grip is that I want it to be a very, very high quality. My background is that I'm an engineer, so I come from maybe a different angle. I got interested in this both because of the process, how you put it on, and using this installation with air, as well as ordinary installation, of course. But mainly, my focus was the quality.
So some of the uniqueness that we were talking earlier was the rubber.
Yeah.
What rubber are we using to make Star Grips?
It's an EPDM rubber. That's I think it's pretty much the same rubber as the one you use in wipers for windshields in cars.
Okay.
It lasts a long time. It's quite expensive material, much more expensive than the normal material you use in grips, but that allows it to both. It's very elastic, so you can use air to put it on. But above all, it lasts a long time. So that's why we can offer a 3-year guarantee on the grips.
So what we were talking with is that, again, Star Grips has a 3-year warranty. And what's the warranty for?
Well, it's for if the customer gets new grips, if they lose their tackiness within 3 years. I'm not sure that if we have ever replaced a set of grips yet, but
well, that's a testament right there.
Yeah. So they do last a long, long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are models here? What we have this one. Okay. Which one is that?
This one is our best-selling grip. It's the Sidewinder. It's a velvet style grip. It's very tacky, but still has a firm feel.
Okay.
Yeah. And this comes in 3 different sizes: undersize, standard, and mid-size, and in about, I think it's 8 colors right now. And we were adding colors all the time.
There was a color, it's red, green, pink, white, black, blue, gray, green. I like the green, and there is a red that it looks like a very dark, leathery type of red, not a bright red, yeah. And it really, really nice. Oh, look at here, my peanut gallery's helping me out.
Yeah.
But I mean, this thing is I just think it's a very, very cool color.
Yeah.
I think it would, for those who want a little something, but don't want to go over the top with being notice me kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's really nice. I like that one. I like that one a lot. All right, so we have another one. What do we have? This one here.
Now this is the Smoothie. It's sort of a leather-looking grip. It has a smooth texture, no perforations, but you have still the wrap feel.
No.
For those who want, a bit old-fashioned style, this is the one.
Now, does this come in the same number of colors as the other ones?
No. This one comes in actually, this only comes in black.
Okay.
This model.
And sizes?
Only standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys that have ever dealt with a true leather grip, this is what it looks like. Yeah. Right? A true leather grip will have the edges that are rounded down. It'll have that smoother type of texture, and this thing is sticky. Yeah. I'm here to tell you it's sticky. So it's a don't count that one out. All right, and our next one.
Now this is the what we call the standard wrap. This is with the small perforations. This comes in 3 sizes. It's undersize, standard, and mid-size, and in 4 colors: white, black, red, and blue. This has picked up a lot of business. This is selling more and more.
Do you think you get a little bit more texture because of the added perforations underneath?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more texture, but this is, you get a little bit, it's more of a feel thing, really.
So what we have here is we have our wrap look, but it has what we're used to seeing is the little, we'll call them half bubbles or whatever on the top.
Yeah.
But on the bottom we have some more relief here, and it gives it another texture, and it does have a different, is it finished differently than the Smoothie?
Not really. We're using the same rubber in all our grips.
Right.
But the texture of the grips make them feel very different.
Sure.
Not very different, but quite different still.
Okay.
And it's so the texture is very important, I think.
It is very nice. All right, and last one, we also have a putter grip.
Yep.
And what do we have is this a multiple color kind of option or no?
Right now it's not, but we are going to do this in several colors.
Okay.
Probably like 5-6 colors. A lot of those brighter colors will do this in, but right now we don't have it.
And in this particular size.
Yeah. In this
All right.
size.
So what this one has more of a, we'll call it a triangular or deep shape.
Yeah.
And so it sets more into the fingers right here, and then it gets a little smaller down here, so you can find your fingers in between the wraps.
Yeah.
And it does. And it's a good. Again, it's a very sticky. We'll call it very textury.
Yeah.
I hate to call it sticky because it's not sticky, but boy, oh boy, it wants to grab you right back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just wants to get you really good.
And it stays like that.
Yeah. For at least 3 years.
For at least 3 years.
For at least 3 years, right? So where do we find, Anders, where do we find Star Grips at?
Well, you can go into stargrip.com. There you can place orders, or you can turn to any of our dealers or distributors around the U.S. and the rest of the world as well.
Okay, so distributors, dealers, and at the website in order to be able to get something like this for you.
Yeah.
And they also go on with air. That's always the plus.
It is. You know, these grips can be installed with air, or using solvent and grip tape as well. But installation with air is, of course, very, very quick and odorless, and there's a lot of advantages, and it's very fast.
Slide it on and play. Now, one thing I really did notice that, from a guy who puts on, we'll say, his own fair share, except for Mrs. McGough, that the one thing that you don't see on here is a logo.
No.
Right? You don't see a logo. No logos. Right? No logos. Nothing. No logos. Which, in reality, except for maybe this particular grip, when it comes from an alignment, if you're off just a little bit with that, who cares? If you're off with just a little bit of that, unless the pattern looks squirrely to you, you're on and you're ready to go. So it became even simpler to install the grip with air.
Yeah, it's true. And all of these grips are, since they are injection mold grips, they don't have any seams on normally you make grips with two halves that you press together like this, and then you get a seam on both sides.
Nice.
Now these don't. So that also allows for us to make them with very, very tight tolerances when it comes to weight. And people are most often not aware of this, but lots of grips has weight variations of several grams. So you can even get up to 2 swing weight points difference by just changing grips, one piece to another. So these are always below 1 gram, so they don't affect the swing weight.
So you just hit on something. When I do boxes to builds and we do the building, I absolutely stress weighing everything before we get started.
Yeah.
And I we talk about a difference between the head weights, and I'm looking for a span, and I'm looking for the shafts to be within there's a certain tolerance for manufacturing. I give it to them, and then in grips, I have a higher expectation.
Yeah.
And I'll go, and normally I see 2-3 grams maybe, but here as of late, it's been way wider.
Yeah.
And I said, so if you're telling me in that one, we'll have to put you to the test when somebody sends me.
I'll be happy to. Yeah. They are very tight. They are very tight. what I can say is that you have to consider the color though, because if you take this grip, it will stay within that gram, and the same with all of them. But there are differences between the colors, because the pigment we use, for instance, for a white grip is heavier because it's colored with titanium, which is a metal.
Okay.
So they get heavier. So
I saw that.
So they're like 3 grams.
Just heavier.
Or 4 grams heavier.
Well, I'm more about
with
the consistency,
yes,
from 1-7.
Yeah.
I'm there.
But that means that you can, if you want to, within fitting or so, want to do some adjustments, you can do that by changing the color.
Oh, okay. Very cool. We learned, there's something you just learned. White has titanium in it.
Yeah.
And I knew it was heavier, I just didn't know why.
Yeah.
Well, now we know. So there we go. Okay, guys, so we saw it. 3 different styles, a very stout rubber, soft feel, very sticky, good 3 years, right?
Yep.
Anders is standing by, just waiting to see if somebody's going to turn in a set of grips.
Yeah.
and they do. They do feel really, really good. And I can tell you, in the beginning, I did have a set of these, and these were originally on all my fitting clubs, and it was years before I replaced them.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
And the thing I found is when they're inactive, right? When you don't, they get gross, and these didn't. And they just wipe them off and go. So again, there's something to be said: quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing here. So again, Anders, thank you so very much for letting me have in there.
Thank you for coming.
Again, guys, stargrip.com.
Yep.
Stargrip.com, and check them out. And as always, let's see your scores go low.